Imagine your future mother-in-law taking your future husband to therapy so that a professional could stop the wedding. Luckily, the husband was like, Mom, you're crazy. I'm getting married. And they've been happily together for 6 years. But that just kind of gives you an idea of how the daughter-in-law and mother-in-law relationship started. But they've been doing okay for the first 5 years. And then everything took a nosedive last year when they gave birth to their first baby. That is when this mother-in-law felt so deeply rejected because she wasn't included in the delivery room. So after she felt rejected, that her reaction or her injury has kicked off a series of events. And basically this couple has been paying for it, in my opinion, ever since. And they have done so much to try to repair this relationship. But even to present day, a year almost to the date after this has happened, the mother-in-law is still creating drama regarding the baby's first birthday party. And that's where her question lies for our community. Like, should I keep trying to make it okay with my mother-in-law, or is it okay to just allow her to have her reaction and let it be? That's her question. So let me read you parts of her email because she does a wonderful job laying out all the awful events that they've had to go through this past year. So it started the day before going into labor. My mother-in-law asked me what my birth plan was. Again, so she has asked multiple times, and we share each time that it's going to be my husband and my mom in the delivery room. And then once we get moved to postpartum care, that's when we'll invite the family to meet the baby. All she heard that final time was, "We don't want you there." Like, that was a direct quote from the mother-in-law. After I delivered, she refused to come to the hospital. She said, "You don't want me there. And you didn't call me right away." And to be fair, what the husband did was when they were transferring from the delivery labor area to the postpartum care, he picked up his phone. You know, you're gathering all your stuff. You're trying to like keep up with, them wheeling your baby and your wife down the hallway. He grabbed his phone and he just texted the family group chat like, "Okay guys, like we're moving to postpartum care. Come and meet our son." But he didn't actually call his mom like individually and make it personal. Like, "You're a grandma, come meet your grandson." He didn't do that, to be fair. And so if you imagine, so she's saying that her mother-in-law took it very, very personal and felt rejected, not being included in the delivery room. She's feeling like, "You don't want me there." Like, that's how she like twisted the words and she heard it that way. Now she's feeling slighted because you didn't even make it special and call her like one-on-one and maybe even just let her come in and see the baby before you invited everyone in the family. So to be fair, she's right. You didn't call her right away. But the second reason why she's not coming to the hospital, I don't understand. She said it, meaning delivering the baby, it took longer than you said it would. So that means I'm not coming. Then she went back to the group text, just kind of blasted the couple and said they were cruel for not including me in the delivery room. So obviously she's really, really hurt. Then days later, they're begging her like, "Come meet the baby." She refuses. So finally the husband takes the newborn 5 days old to go to his mom's house so they can meet. The daughter-in-law said, "I couldn't even go because I was so hurt by all the drama that she was causing around the birth of the child." But she finally did meet the baby. Then, to try to repair the relationship, her husband went into therapy with her mother-in-law. So son and mom went into therapy for 9 months. So they were in therapy for 9 months and they went through 3 therapists because the mother-in-law kept firing the therapist because she was so disappointed in her son for not changing. This is when the couple was introduced to the book Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents by Lindsay Gibson. And that's when they began to understand what they're really dealing with, which is somebody who has arrested development, lacks the ability to take accountability, has very poor insight, doesn't have self-awareness, can't put herself in their shoes. So basically, you're looking at a 60-year-old, but internally in charge of their emotional brain, you have a toddler. So just imagine a 3-year-old version of themselves controlling the levers. They realize, okay, that is what we're dealing with. Abruptly, after the 3rd therapist, the mother-in-law fired the therapist, quit counseling altogether, said, "You're not changing. I'm so disappointed in you." They just kind of keep gimping along, and then they start planning the son's first birthday party. Now, the birthday lands on a weekday, and like most of us, I believe, they decided to plan the party for the family on the weekend because it's just easier for everyone's schedule. That's what I do anyway. But the mother-in-law, she couldn't handle it. I guess this was really triggering for her, not having it on the birthday. She freaked out, basically estranged from this family, said, I need a break. That means no conversations, no get-togethers, nothing, like no babysitting. But it was just like an open ending situation, like an open-ended. The husband just couldn't handle that. He's like, I gotta put a deadline on this. So he went to his mom and he was like, hey, how about we go no contact for like 6 months, just so that we can take a break and then come back and figure things out. She got really hurt by that. She accused him like of using their son as a weapon. So even after all that, the daughter-in-law still extends an olive branch, invites her to the birthday party, and the mother-in-law said, you need to fix this first. If I'm gonna come to this party, it's up to you two whether or not I come. Basically, it's up to you if you fix this. So now here she is, present day, coming to our community thinking, oh my gosh, like I understand she's emotionally stunted and this is all part of the emotional immaturity, but like at what point, like, do I get to have any sort of say in my life? Like how much drama is like brought in? Like, do I reach out to her and try to fix this for the birthday party? Or do I just let her have her reaction? If she doesn't show up, she doesn't show up. Like she is just feeling guilty because she's not fixing it, but also she's really angry that they're just getting blamed for everything. And she understands it's emotional immaturity, but she's still having a hard time wrapping her head around it. So I know you guys are gonna have amazing insight about the birthday party thing. Basically, I wouldn't grovel anymore. I would have a boundary where I extended the invite because that is what was the right thing to do. She then can choose whether or not to join us. I will not get drawn into the drama. That would be something I would, decide on my own, but you guys give her feedback for that. I'm more thinking big picture here. Our personal journey, figuring out how to wrap our head around emotionally immature people in our lives, we had to go through a lot of grieving. So even though you understand the philosophies and you understand there's a 3-year-old controlling the levers and you understand you're never going to get a genuine apology, because if you just imagine getting a genuine apology from a toddler, it's not possible. They don't have the skill set. And emotionally immature people, they operate the same way. And I know people like to say they're unwilling to access those tools that we all have. Up close and personal, I believe they can't access those tools. And so it took us a long time to grieve and then move to a place of acceptance. Like it's a can't. They don't have access to the same tools you would assume as an adult that they would. So accepting that, then adjusting our expectations. And once we did that, it seems like they're getting a pass, but really it helped us suffer a lot less because we weren't disappointed anymore. So adjusting our expectations after we accepted the limitations, then we went around our life and set boundaries that we had full control over and could manage 100%, protect our peace, honor our family values, all that. Once we had gone through all that, we grieved. We accepted their limitations. We switched around our expectations. We set boundaries to protect our peace. Then, having all that information, we were able to make an informed decision on whether or not this relationship was sustainable or not for us. For us, it was. You may find that this injury is so deep for her and she doesn't know how to let go of the grudge, and you guys don't know how to keep moving on with her. Like she just is in such misery because of this injury that she's constantly trying to create drama around this because misery likes company. You may find that it might not be sustainable. I have no idea. That is up to you guys. Once you have all the information, accept the limitations, adjust your expectations, set boundaries that you control, then you can decide, is this sustainable or not? That's just my input. I'm more focused on the bigger picture. Grieving was a big process for us. It took a really long time. I guess I'm really curious to see what the community has to say.